Hey guys, so I know it's kind of late in the week for this, but I figured I'd go over the weekly Tagatame update. Now, if you watched my gym video, you'd know the database is currently unavailable. It's not that it's unavailable, but rather that it cannot be updated. My understanding of the situation is the encryption that they were using on the data that the database pulled from to basically autofill itself has been changed, and I guess it hasn't been cracked yet or whatnot. I don't know all the details, this is just what I heard, but since it's not up and running, I unfortunately am having a hard time getting good numbers and stuff for new gear, so it's going to be harder for me to bring you these weekly, well not rather weekly, I don't always do them weekly, but rather these Tagatame content updates without the database being updated. Hopefully it'll get resolved, hopefully. But there's no need to go and harass the guy in charge, though. I'm sure he's doing the best he can, or he's moved on. I couldn't tell you. Anyways, so I just kind of have Kagura up right now just because I recently got her skin from an Enso pull. I kind of got screwed on the rest of them, but whatever. I did really want the skin, and I'll do a video on Kagura eventually. But getting into the new content, so we're going to go quick through Kaigens to start, and the big one is Gate 5 for Ultima. Well, one of the big ones anyways. So, I haven't really done a ton with this Kaigen, and since I don't have access to the numbers, it's kind of hard to say exactly how great he is. However, that isn't the only good thing that he got. He got access to the Water Sage job, and that's a very big deal because it's going to let him use the extra water attack from the weapon Kaigen that only Water Sages can use, which will give a small buff to his Water Sage above and beyond his Job Plus, which he already outdamaged in the first place. The other normal unit to get a Gate 5 was Chihaya, but unfortunately, it's I think kind of redundant. I don't think she really needs it per se, but she did get an update to what is it, Flowering Spirit, I think, in Global. But anyways, the next really big update is Black Killer Masamune, who now has her Gate 5. The Gate 5 does upgrade her teleport attack, and it'll reduce the enemy's defense to 0 now, and it has some extra charges. So definitely a very good upgrade for her. The other units to get upgrades were Black Killer Longinus and Black Killer Artemis. I haven't really gone through them much as I don't have Black Killer Artemis and I never raised Black Killer Longinus. But it is what it is. I'm sure it's pretty good. Once again, I miss the database. And Yuri also got a Gate 5 today, but we're going to ignore her. So, what new content has come out recently? Well, the big new one is the collab. We have the Tricollab going on right now between Shinobina, POTK, and Tagatame. Obviously, Shinobina is dead, but, you know. They still live on in this game, much like the DG units do. So this is set up like the Genesis quests, where you get this quest line here, and you go through the quest line, and you get all the stars, and when it's done, you get a reward. Then you switch over to hard mode, go through again, and you get more gems, basically. Now, these quests here do have a chance to drop any of the collab units, as well as Mirror Shards. They don't drop it all the time, and it costs 40 AP per attempt, so I don't really think it's worth trying to farm them, because not only is like the drop rate not great, it's also completely random, so the drop rate's even lower. But you do have to go through these to get the new unit Hiragi, and Hiragi is a new free unit. She's based around the Shinobina units, and she is a 3-star wind unit who's basically a modified swordmaster that's based around support. Unfortunately, her damage is not that great, and I haven't really taken an in-depth look at her kit, but I'll probably Kaigen her out just because it's super easy to Kaigen her, as you get pretty much everything for free. Now, once you have finished up this quest line, you can go and do the normal and hard boss. And these are set up kind of like mini raids that only you can participate in. You need to gather tickets from the normal mode in order to basically have attempts at the boss, and when the boss dies, you get these coins. Obviously, hard mode is more difficult, but you get more coins for doing it. I believe the calculation I saw on Discord, someone say as long as you can do 50k damage to the hard boss, it's better to do the hard boss. But if you have a decent win team at this point, you should be able to easily 1 or 2 shot him. And when you get those coins, you can go in here and use them on this gacha. And it's just going to have a bunch of random stuff. We can take a quick look at what is in it. Where is the info for that? That's not it. There's some information here on what's inside of it. Oh, there it is. So as you can see, it's got some LE shards, unit shards, among other things. Almas is the other new POTK unit. She is a sword user who uses a mix of physical attack and magic. Unfortunately, getting really good rewards in here is pretty rare. So, but if you try hard and you get a lot of coins, I see no reason why you can't get like some decent rewards from this. But I don't know. I never really liked the Genesis style quests. But yeah. So let's go ahead and hop over to event. So we do have the hard quest for Mara available, but you do need to have her as a unit. We have the basic Shinobina and POTK quests, and for this week, Watatsumi is going to be our VCR stage. So if you have any Watatsumi Nensos you want to raise to get their VCRs, now's a good week to do it, as well as an extra one for the new Nensos. The advent of Phantoms for Collab units is up, so if you want to get shards explicitly for a certain Black Killer or POTK unit, that is a good way to do so. Let's go take a quick look at the banners. So, most of the banners this time were pretty bad around, but there was one really good banner that you are not going to be able to see because I already pulled all 7 steps on it. And basically what the banner was is 2.5k at each step. It's going to give out 1 guaranteed 5-star Nenso from each area. Well, not necessarily each area. Some of the steps were shared by different areas, but let's say you're on the Envy step, it means you're guaranteed to have 1 Envy Nenso pop up. The limited Nensos were included in these pulls, and I did get a couple. I got, what was the one I got? I got, Belta's Nenso, that's right. And I also got Kagoda's Nenso, as you saw earlier, with her outfit. Unfortunately, I did not get the Moa Nenso, which is the one that I really, really wanted, and I didn't get Mocha, unfortunately. The gem banner is up, so if you have gems, you can dump them into the gem banner and get back more gems. Obviously, this is RNG. Theoretically, you can basically make your whole way up. Realistically, there's absolutely no chance you're going to make your way the whole way up. This kind of banner really is better for the whales than it is for the free-to-play, unless you manage to stock up a lot of gems. I just happened to have a lot of gems when it came around, so I used it. I got pretty high in the banner. Unfortunately, I didn't get everything I wanted out of what I used the gems on, but it is what it is. Always, just a precaution, make sure you do not use your paid gems. It will take your paid gems, and it'll turn them into free gems. Careful. Otherwise, we have our basic crap banners. We have a Genesis-style banner here for Mara, where it's basically pay us lots and lots of money, and eventually you might get her. Most of the other banners are going to be like 7 or 9 steps with selectors at the end, which kind of sucks, to be honest. A lot of these old collab banners used to give out like 270 rainbow frags on like step 5 or 7, and there just isn't a banner like that this time around, unfortunately. So if this keeps up, it's going to become harder and harder to Kaigen collab units, because we really do rely on those collab shards in order to do it. It's just not realistic to do it any other way. There are a couple of paid banners, including this one, which for 2.5k is going to net you 10 5-star Nensos, and it does look like limited Nensos are included in that. We have the 1000 frag banner for 1.5k, where it's going to give you 100 shards of 10 different units. This can include limited units, which you can then later pop if they're not an EX unit or limited in some kind of fashion. This looks like a has limited units and is going to give you 10 5-star units. If you're relatively new, that's a great banner, but if you're like an older player, it's just not, unless you're really aiming for a certain limited unit. Standard 9-step for the new Nensos, the select ticket at the end. We do have a 5-step for the Shinobina Nenso, whose stats I don't know because RIP database. We have a 7-step for the POTK units right here. And it does look like it's going to have a select ticket on step 7, but it doesn't. It's not collab shards, and let me explain the difference here. So, if you have a select ticket for 270 units of the event that you're currently on, you can get the units, the shards for the unit you want. If you get collab shards on step 7, it means you can use them on any collab unit. So let's say I needed collab shards for my Merlinus. That means that I can't pull on this banner and raise my Merlinus. Basically, it's Gumi shortchanging everyone, but it's like if you want to, let's say, raise your Black Killer Masamune this way, it's fine. If you want to raise everything else, it's not. Basically, they shortchanged everyone, and it's hard to complain because you still kind of get a result. It's just not as good. I'm not being super articulate today, am I? And we have our standard 5-step Masamune and POTK banner, as well as our gear gacha. And someone did ask me why I don't use the gear gacha, because I'm sure a lot of you notice when I do these videos, I never have the gear gacha pulled, almost never. And that's because of this. I have a ton of gear. In fact, I have most of the gear the game has to offer. There's just really no reason for me to waste on that when I could be using it on a Nenso instead. Or even a unit for that matter. I mean, I'm still going through. Okay, so we finally hit our silver stuff. And these are just things I haven't bothered to turn up to 5-star yet. I can do a lot of them. And let's say there's a specific piece of gear that I need. Well, the 5K boxes in Japan often come with gear select tickets. I have a couple just sitting right here. And from this, I can select whatever piece of gear I'm missing and I want, or a duplicate of something I already have. So there's just really no reason for me to pull that banner. Also, my luck on that banner is just awful. It really is. I almost never get anything good from gear banners. So let's take a quick look here at the coin shop now. So, with the recent change to AP, and I do believe I already went over this, if you complete all your dailies, you do have access to the gold coin shop. In case you missed it, there's some good stuff in here. You can spend the rest of your raid coins over the next couple days. Just make sure you spend them up because it's unlikely that raid is going to rerun. Now, they did add a new piece of gear, and what was it? I think it raises max jewels by like 100 or 200, but like decreases your jewel gain to absolute nothing or something. Basically, the whole point of this piece of gear is it's going to give mages a lot of extra casts, but it's then going to prevent them from casting anything after they're out. So this might be good on some units that don't often hit their bottom jewels when they're a mage. Otherwise, it's pretty niche, I guess. I definitely want it, so I might save for it, but we'll see. I might just get a horn. And I think that's it. The one thing I do want to point out is in the MP shop this week we do have Zane, and in the Arena Coin shop we have Kuden, and I already bought him, but there is Bashini. So make sure you grab them while they're available, because it's definitely a nice way to get a good head start on what you're farming. So here we have a special shop here, and it's going to be for paid gems. I actually completely forgot about this, so I might as well get a couple things while I'm here. That's not even worth one paid gem. You know, small things like this add up over time, and since it's only one paid gem each, there's no reason to not indulge. This is why I like to keep a couple paid gems on my account at all times, because they sometimes do things like this. And the rest of this stuff is pretty much garbage. So we do have that shop. We've got our standard new units shop, but this one has a couple more things in it. It's going to have the Collab package, which I just don't think is worth it because those are easy to get. But it's going to have all the POTK swimsuits, shards for all the POTK units if you feel like whaling a little bit. Nothing super interesting. We are going to have the new pickup units. Shop, and it's going to have the shards for the new stuff as well as your standard like job tokens, etc. And the new this week we have Anastasia's OG skin. Definitely nice looking. It's a shame I never raised her, but it is what it is. So that's all we have for that. Do I have anything else to go over? I don't remember if I mentioned or not, but Bashini, although he already did have his Gate 5, is going to be on double dropped this week. So if you haven't farmed him up yet, definitely make sure you go ahead and farm him. He's definitely a great unit, and with the raid pouch, it's brought a little, like a second life to him. I mean, it's not that he was ever bad, but it's going to give him even more jewel gain, which will make him even easier to use. With his super high speed, makes him a great unit all around. And I think that's everything for today. So thanks for watching as always, everyone, and I hope to see you next time.